Okay, hello everybody. I hope everybody can see me here. So, welcome to my giveaway spotlight. My name is Andrea Hunt, and I'm an American world traveling transformational life coach and EFT practitioner. And I'm also the founding of Living Deliberately Today, personal empowerment coaching for a better life. And I'm also based in Munich, Germany. So, I help people to step outside of their comfort zones and especially rebuild after difficult life changes without the stress, self doubt, and overwhelm that can come along with sometimes making these huge changes so that people can master the art of living deliberately. So, using the clarity and power of coaching and also the power of the emotional freedom technique, also known as EFT tapping, I can help people to clear the negative emotional blocks to their confidence, self worth, and self love that might be holding them back and causing them to self sabotage. So, who do I help? So, whether you're a professional that's just dealing with stress, anxiety, self doubt, or you're facing significant life changes like burnout or job loss, divorce or breakups, or other personal setbacks, I'm here to support you. So you might be asking yourself, what is EFT tapping? So EFT tapping is a kind of odd looking but very effective mind body technique, and it's a tool for emotional healing and also for personal growth. So it involves tapping on specific acupuncture points on the face while focusing on the emotions that you'd like to clear and the issues that you'd like to address. So, does that sound interesting? So, first, let me tell you about 3 ways that you can actually use EFT tapping and why would it be beneficial for you. So, first of all, we can use EFT tapping as a preventative measure. So, that means first thing in the morning or maybe before bed as a way to maintain your emotional balance and prevent stress and anxiety from overwhelming you during the day. So, you are probably familiar with what if you wake up in a good mood during that day, everything goes smoothly, something happens, maybe somebody steps on your foot outside or whatever, you would probably react very calmly and just be like, oh, hey, it's no problem. But what if you're stressed, overworked, overwhelmed, you don't feel centered and grounded? How would you react instead? Maybe you would yell at the person. Maybe you would have the whole rest of the day be terrible just because of one moment. We become very emotionally unresilient when we're not managing our emotional health. The other way that can be EFT can be extremely useful is to recalibrate when life throws curveballs. This can be something as small as making a mistake at work that maybe we become really overwhelmed and stressed about, and we start overthinking of all of the what ifs that could possibly happen. Or it could actually help you in terms of way bigger things when you just feel overwhelmed, anxious, too much is going on, and you can't find a way to feel grounded in your day. So the third part is which is most important when it comes to my coaching is to be able to use EFT tapping as a way to overcome limiting beliefs. So what do I mean by that? Limiting beliefs are typically the kind of things that we think when we consider ourselves like not enough, or maybe we're afraid of being judged or failing and stuff, things like that. It's also helpful for self sabotage, and one of the top ways that we can self sabotage very sneakily is with procrastination. Sometimes with procrastination, what's behind it is actually a fear or resistance to doing what we want to do. And sometimes we don't even understand why we are doing it. I've had clients who have started businesses almost, started websites for their business, and they just couldn't launch it when it came to the final moment of, pressing the launch button because they suddenly feared judgment or criticism, or they were afraid to put themselves out there. The other thing that's important is in terms of your negative self talk, because a lot of times some of the things that we say to ourselves are not very nice, and we would definitely never talk this way to other people. But sometimes we end up getting stuck in the same cycles, and because of the way that EFT tapping works, we can go through the negative emotions and release them so that we can put a more powerful and helpful belief on top of it, like, I can do this. I'm willing to learn through this experience so that we can stop talking ourselves out of things. So, why is EFT tapping important to your personal growth? So it's crucial, especially if you have big goals and dreams. Now, there are certainly people who can simply have a strategy and they just execute and they do it and they have no fear. But for the rest of us, a lot of times, those fears can manifest in ways like anxiety or stress. And we might end up, as I said before, self sabotaging instead of going after what we want. We find sneaky ways to stop ourselves. EFT tapping can help you break through these fears and barriers that might be stopping you. It's also essential during tough times when life knocks you down. So, if you've ever been burnt out, you might have a really hard time learning to trust yourself again or to feel confident applying for jobs again. Or other situations that might happen in life. Let's be honest, divorce is quite common. Also, breakups that can be a complete bash to our ego and our self-confidence, and it can be really hard to pick ourselves up again. During these times of, during these times that are so difficult, it can be very hard to get back on track, and EFT tapping is there to work through the self-doubt so that you can clear it and you can move forward. And of course, as a business person, many of you have businesses, and you might be afraid just to step out of your comfort zone or put yourself out there. Or maybe, unfortunately, not all the people in your life, are supporting what you're doing, and you're starting to second guess yourself. And then self-doubt comes creeping in. That's also where it's very helpful. So what I want to tell you about is my giveaway is a 1 hour EFT session. So while many things might take several sessions, there is so much we can actually do in 1 hour if it comes to trying EFT for the first time. So if you've been interested in EFT and you have been wanting to try it and you didn't really understand how it worked or you weren't sure who you wanted to work with, I am a very good person to introduce you to EFT tapping. I've had amazing results with my clients. Everything from, people procrastinating, like I said, and not wanting to launch the website, or other times, people who have wanted to start a sort of an exercise plan and they couldn't figure out why they kept resisting the progress that they really wanted to make. So in this EFT session that you can win, it's 1 hour with me on Zoom. It can help you overcome maybe one thing that you're procrastinating that you want to do. Maybe you need to reduce your stress and anxiety about a certain situation that you're going through in your life just to feel calm and centered again. Or maybe you need a little bit of a confidence boost and you need to feel empowered to take action towards your next goals. So if you've been curious about EFT tapping but unsure what to expect, this is a great chance for you to work with me. So thank you so much for joining me today on this live spotlight. And also another thing, if you don't happen to be the one who wins the prize of an EFT session with me, keep in mind I do have a summer special right now. So it's for the end of summer, of course, because we're already in September. It's going until the 23rd. And it's called the Summer of Emotional Freedom. And what it is are 5 sessions, 5 1 hour EFT sessions. This is a great way to really start transforming your mindset, whether it's working on your emotional blocks, improving your self-esteem or self-confidence, overcoming certain procrastination behaviors that you might have, getting started on a goal, or maybe finishing it. So, and I do also additional work when it comes to reducing the emotional charge of past events, because often we might have some events in our childhood, for example, that can still affect us today in terms of our self-esteem and confidence. One of the examples that I always use is, if you were a kid when you were 8 years old and let's say you got in front of the class and you wanted to give, a talk about your paper that you wrote. And let's say the teacher says something that wasn't very nice to you and all the other students laugh. So in that moment, you probably created the limiting belief that it's not safe to put myself out there. Everybody's going to criticize me. If I try, I'm going to fail. And maybe you have a fear of public speaking after that. And so fast forward 20, 30, 40 years, your boss wants you to give a client presentation and you freeze up and you're sweating and you have all this massive anxiety because you're still remembering from the standpoint of that child that didn't feel safe enough to put themselves out there. After putting themselves out there, they faced certain consequences. So if this sounds like something interesting, please go ahead and enter to win my 1 hour EFT session. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. And if you'd like to check out the Summer of Emotional Freedom, you can check the links in the box. I offer it in dollars and euros and also in Great British pounds. And if you have a friend maybe that would be would benefit from something like this, please let them know. Thank you guys so much, and everybody have a great Monday.